Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Aquarius Rising Africa. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good beautiful everywhere where you are. I hope you're all wonderful and happy and living your best life right now. And we are certainly living our best life on this show because we have with us Tom ALTHOUSE. How are you, Tom? How are you, Morné?
Good ages, Tom.
Yeah, I'm doing the whole, I am now evidence. I'm a walking evidence of what's going on in this country. So yay. All right.
Well, that's wonderful. And I love what you're wearing today. You're looking all creative. You've got this whole artist vibe going there, which is looking very suave. And you look as though you should be walking around on the streets of Holland or something, you know.
There you go. Yeah. It's also my tribute to Hemingway. And it looks sort of like sackcloth with the Shakespeare poet shirt.
Shakespeare. Yeah. I wanted to say Shakespearean.
Yes.
Shakespearean.
Okay, but actually, before we go on with our conversation, because we're really just going to be catching up, and I'm very happy to have you back because we haven't had you on for a few weeks. I've been gallivanting with my granddaughter and I've been traveling, and it's just timing's being off, but very happy to have you back. Yeah. So without further ado, Morné, maybe you wanna just show us a little bit of a video clip there that we have received from Tom.
Okay. Share screen. Opening it up. It's so weird. It doesn't want to upload here. And it doesn't want to show me there. Okay, well, it's very weird, but I've got another way to get to that clip without them. Here we are.
See the spray coming out.
Zoom in.
There you go. Let's see the spray.
There you
go. It's like spraying.
Yeah, it's like yeah, north by northwest. Cornfield.
Okay, so it's clear from what we're seeing there that you have Tom basically taken the video footage, and it's clearly still buzzing around in the background.
Yeah.
Of this airplane spraying. Clearly, it looks a bit like our four-legged friends there that are like marking their territory, you know, like spraying. The alphabet boys, obviously the alphabet boys are now deciding to mark their territory. What the heck is that about? Tell us, what is that about, please?
That actually buzzed our roof a number of times, and then I went out and got that footage. So it's like crop dusting. So they were spraying, and now everybody in the neighborhood's hacking, and you can hear in my voice, I got the upper respiratory right away. Immediately after that spray hits you, you get the upper respiratory, you get the red burning eyes, you get the chills, come a little later, you get the sore throat, really bad sore throat, and the symptoms will increase through the days. They just get more and more. It's a very aggressive manufactured product that will grab hold of people and work their upper respiratory. Sound familiar? So that's what they do. Now, this happened months before, and everybody got sick, and they said there was a whole epidemic in our area, right to the mayor. So this is how they deliver it now. It's like a sledgehammer tactic. It cannot be denied. They're not spraying for mosquitoes because that would be a fogging type of mechanism. This is jet stream sprays. This is like your crop dusting poison or something. So what we're seeing is now the latest delivery system of a manufactured bio sickness. I'm trying to use the right words that don't get us in trouble, because we're not allowed to speak in this country. We're not allowed to speak about certain things, just like World War II Germany. You weren't allowed to. That's the way you deal with your intellectuals keeping them quiet and gagging them. And the other thing too is I'm not allowed to leave this country. My son and I are not allowed to leave. There's a couple reasons for that. We're considered assets. We are, the scripts we have, the screenplays, they don't want them going to other countries. They don't want us setting up in other countries where they benefit. So it's a very greedy nation here that is run by certain people in ties and suits that make sure their assets don't leave. We're in a really weird situation where that's what happened at certain towers. The people were told to go back upstairs. They weren't allowed to leave the building. Now we're not allowed to leave the country. So certain ones of us are not allowed to leave.
Wow. And it seems to me like winter would be coming for, oh, well, obviously winter's on its way for you guys now as well. And I find it interesting as well as winter's obviously coming for you guys. Suddenly these little dinky toy airplanes flying around all over the airline, all over the airwaves, spraying their precious cargoes for want. I don't even know what to call it. I just, again, you know, we know what we're talking about here. But it's very interesting because obviously that would then again be getting the scare up for people with the spiky flu going on, and obviously making, you know, creating the increase in the cases, right?
That's right.
The reported cases. So again, it just qualifies what they've been, or their narrative. It qualifies their narrative, what they've been saying all along.
Right. Yeah, right.
You know,
it's a precursor. It's a precursor to the chipping that'll be coming, which is in the screenplay, the original screenplay, The Immortals became the Matrix. You've got the chipping program, which will be also just like the spraying, but it'll be mandatory, and you won't be allowed to talk about it. You won't be allowed to say anything negative about the chipping, just like you're not supposed to say anything negative about the spraying, what the contents is in that plane. And so what's really interesting is what society was like that before us. Well, basically, you know, World War II Germany. So, and its subsidiaries. So it's like that's where we're at. And the same playbook, the very same playbook. And these guys aren't very smart that we're dealing with at all. They're not smart at all. So, I mean, there's so many examples of them blundering and doing insane moves where we'll know every step they're going to make ahead of time through contacts and other things. But you can hear the effects of what that spraying does. And this is 5 days basically after the spraying, and it gets worse and worse.
It doesn't even make sense to me. Why do you spray something over a city? I mean,
at a low, dangerous altitudes. I mean, they are buzzing the roofs. Yeah.
That video, it's just like, why? That's
and those are just late at night. They're doing it late at night, so they, in their simple minds, these alphabet boys, simple minds, God help us. They're thinking, well, nobody will really catch it. It'll be dark, and it will go so fast they won't really catch it. You know, well, no, after so many passes over my roof, buzzing it really, really loud like that, I go outside and I get that footage. And there's some more footage that follows where they're going back and forth, back and forth. You can time the intervals. Now, what's interesting is those that have been administered certain series of chosen administering, they are the ones that are going to suffer the most. Those of us that we're not supposed to talk about it, I guess, those of us that don't partake, build up immunities. My symptoms are not as bad at all compared to the first time they north by northwest us and Cary Grant's, you know, crop dusted us. The first time they did that, I was down on the couch for a month, so ill I couldn't even get up. But I was not going to report myself or take myself in. There's no way. So I egged it out and built up natural immunities. Now I'm being sprayed like this. It's nothing like what it was before. I have not had to crash on the couch. You can hear the symptoms, the red, everything, all the things are there still. Red burning eyes, the cramping, the upper respiratory, right in the throat, right in the throat. That's what you feel. That's an identifier red flag of this manufactured chemicals. And so what you have are strains. And what's interesting is when the first time they did it, I said, now watch the news. You're going to see an epidemic break out right after they were buzzing us. Like, I've got that footage too. And wait till you see it. So they're just like, vroom, at the other place where. And what's interesting is I said, you know, you're going to see these symptoms. You're going to see a whole epidemic out. And I said, it'll be the worst strain. And so we look it up when they announce it. It was the Delta. On the list, it was the worst strain. So I knew they'd put the worst at us. Another obvious move by them, that they'd bring us their worst. If we're going to spend the time on this and the money, then give them the worst. And they did. And it does. Right here, it's like anybody who gets sprayed, you'll feel like there's a button right on your throat, right here, a button. It just feels like there's a button right there. Just annoying glob right in your upper throat. And it affects the upper respiratory. Now, this is devastating for our elderly. And now they're going after the children, especially young males. So it's like, I mean, they're the ones that are dropping in sports and everything else. This insanity has to end. The circus needs to leave town.
You're very right about that, because we're looking more and more as well. You know, you're mentioning about the kids as well. You know, I'm hearing people speak about the kids don't even know they've got the spiky flu thing, and they are the ones that are actually spreading this thing. It's insane, the rumors and things that people are believing. Yeah. Really, it's incredible, and that people actually believe that. That for me, it's almost like that whole consistent over the past, especially 2 years, where it's become so much more impactful on everyone. It's that whole consistent breakdown of the human psyche. You know, we slowly but surely, people are believing the most insane things that 2 years ago they never would have dreamed possible. Was you know, going to even enter their orb, never mind their consciousness, that they start believing it. But I find that very disturbing, actually, you know, just watching that plane. And it's not just there, you know, it's all over that they're doing this. So when you're saying this is preparation for microchipping, right? Because according to your script, we've spoken about this in one of our previous interviews. You know, we were sort of asking where in your script are we now, according to your script? So I'm just interested again, on that vein, according to your script, where we are now with this going on, because this is really biological warfare that is now being hammered down on us, that's for sure, you know. So what is the best way for us to deal on a physical level with the onslaught that's happening now, in your opinion? Obviously, everyone has their own thing going on, but I would love to know from you, what would be the best way to counteract this? Because it's clear it's going on. It's getting darker before the dawn type thing. So we've been told many people are still going to lose their lives because of this before the turn happens or the shift happens. Just like to know your opinion on that.
Well, what they're setting up is people dropping at different places at different times. So they can say, we didn't do it. There's no consistency to people dropping. They're dropping everywhere at different places. It's something else, not us. No, they're the ones that did it, implanted this thing that it affects people long-term at different times and intervals, where they'll be dropping dead on sports fields and stadiums and you name it, just dropping dead. That's part of the screenplay too. And keep in mind, the whole screenplay was written to whisper through art. I knew plans that were being laid. I was working with the worst of the cabal. I was being privy to certain information. I said no. I'm one of the only ones, one of the few that actually said no. And that's why I whispered through art. And these other guys, they wouldn't do that. But it's like, so I know what I'm talking about, first of all. And so the plan is that people would drop at different intervals so they can have plausible deniability and say, we weren't involved in this at all. This is something different. You need our help. You have to be turning to us to help you. That's like asking the wolf, and we're the sheep, for help.
Yeah, exactly.
We're at the point in the screenplay where the food traders have been basically being cut off. In the screenplay, there's food traders. And that's the only, like, we're in a ghetto situation. And you're going to see restriction on movement and travel very, very soon. And I don't just mean going on vacation. I mean, you will not be allowed to leave certain countries. you're not going to be allowed to leave. It's like detention for everybody. One of my advice to people is if you can get dual citizenship, do it. Be a dual citizen. Other countries, don't be only the USA. Get a lifeline for your family. If you can get out of the USA, get out of the USA. It is time. So right now they won't let me go. That should tell you something, because I'd like to go. I'd like to get the hell out of this country and never look back. This is a bad country, and it is a hellish country, and it is a vicious country, and it has dark, deep plans for its own population, its children, its elderly, and they're instituting that. Because right now we are in a one world order where it's the elite and the rich that are calling the shots. And that also was predicted in the screenplay. And why Joel Silver, who is also the Matrix producer, although his attorneys say he's not, right? That's why he did Altered Carbon, where he's warning too about the same thing that I warned about. The rich have everything, immortality, you name it, and the poor are used as pawns. That's exactly it. If you wanted to be experimented on, your children experimented on, stay in the US of A. You'll get your wish. If you want to get away from it, get away. I can't go. I can't take my son. In fact,
but you know, isn't this really, it's not just in the USA, it's really all over. I mean, I know, and I've said this before on the show, in South Africa, 69% of us refuse to comply. Mm-hmm. So eventually, you know, and there were so many court cases against our government, over 1 million pages worth of court cases, and they try to stall until eventually they actually couldn't anymore, and then they just let go all mandates and restrictions. But I'm pretty well aware that they're behind the scenes, they're writing, or they're trying to write in all sorts of things into the Constitution around this whole medical and who can arrest you and make arrests and send you to all sorts of weird places. I don't want to get into too much detail now.
But
I think, sorry, I just wanted to say, I think this is all over in the world that this is happening. And I think, you know, what we've been speaking about as well is that, yes, for us to really transcend this, we've got to just connect with each other, do things in communities, grow our own food, etc., etc., etc. And I really think that's an important thing. But I also just think, you know, from the perspective where you're seeing it, and obviously what you've observed and the people that you've connected with, you would obviously know on a much more sinister level, right? So when we're looking at the spraying and all of the stuff that's going on, and you saying that the microchipping is coming next, or it's preparation for the microchipping, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. First of all, I want to mention something and then bring me back to microchipping. The FBI, CIA is in this country. Central, which is in this Mortal screenplay, is all about the CIA and FBI being the baddies. That's why I want to cleanse the screenplay. The main media that runs this world basically is in this country. England and the banks and the Federal Reserve, America and England. The winners of World War II, the allies that won, are the ones that never let their grip go of the world. And that was part of the thing they were going to do. They were going to use fascism in order to hold on to their grip in the world and never let go. So we are a fascist state. So is England. But other countries, if I was in South Africa, I'd be advocating in your government to break all ties with the FBI, all ties with the CIA, and make sure they're never allowed to set foot on your soil, and the repercussions if they do any spying, or sabotage. So I would encourage other countries to cut off the FBI and CIA from having influence in their spheres, sandwich them back in their little spider holes, and then we'll cut their funding. That's how you put out the fire of evil and corruption, which is the United States of America. We are the country that's causing the problems in the world because we're the ones that benefit the most from World War II. And we never let our grip go. Most of your trouble and terror comes from this country. And it's instituted to always blame others. We always blame others. And if you look at the wars that we have fought, they have been set up by us doing false flags over and over again, from Vietnam to you name it, to even World War II, we had a false flag. We allowed the Japanese to bomb Pearl Harbor. We allowed our servicemen to die, 2,000 strong, die, our young boys and girls, die, so that we could have the country galvanized. We have followed what happened at the Reichstag in Germany, World War II, where they suspended the rights of the citizenry. That's exactly what Robertson did with Bush. And then they put their own judges in place, and it made sure they can steal intellectual property, which might influence people. So when you boil it down and distill it down and do a reduction on everything, it's very simply laid out. And what are their goals? To have a one world society where the elite have a playground. And with the rest of us that are allowed to survive, a small percent, will be servants, sex slaves. Our children will be employed that way. And there will be no merit program that we'll be talking about. But the chipping is coming next, like you chip a pet. And they've had people coming up, families that have been brought forward going, we're the first in Florida. We're the first here. And even the Senator Hunter Club from Robertson is running these kind of things to show these people. And their argument is going to be this. They always have a little sweetener on the top, the sucralose on top, which is our children will never be taken from us because we can track them now wherever they go. Yeah, the state can too. And so cars will be tracked, people will be tracked, and these different chips will be bioengineered, part bio, part mechanical, with nanotech. And what's going to happen is, if you are on the red list, the red pill, then what's going to happen is that thing will biodegrade, release toxins, and kill you at different intervals. It looks like random deaths. But we've all been marked as red, blue, and I think it's yellow. So now for myself, I've been told I'm on the blue list. But I'm not going to have a happy life if they get their way. I'll be in the Institute for the Criminally Insane and also giving information and being allowed to write and see my son once in a while. Now, where's that from? Man in the High Castle. The man in the High Castle gets to see his wife once in a while if he'll do what the state tells him to do. And that's exactly where we're headed right now with me. And that's why even my mom's funeral, my mom's got cancer. She's planned her funeral. I'm her POA. She gets abusive phone calls from the bot's sister, brother, cousins all the time. And they're very angry that I'm her POA because I can't starve her to death like they did my dad. They starved my dad to death over 40 days. And they refused him to have food. And they drugged him. My sister would scream and rage at him. She's in the pocket of the congressman who's lifelong FBI that destabilized Ukraine. Right, it's Patrick. Black tie dinners, engraved invitations, top psych person in Pennsylvania, top psych president of psych people in Pennsylvania, school psych people. She gets to rewards, remodel kitchens, you name it, she gets everything. And her picture on the floor of Congress. The point is, she's being courted by the FBI and Hollywood together. She gets Jimmy Fallon show appearances, CNN owned by Warner Brothers, Sandy Hook spokesperson. She gets all these things while getting the FBI's rewards and the Congress rewards. So the most powerful party you could be is Congress and FBI. That's the two most powerful for the moment. But that's going to change once their funding's cut. One of the stupidest things they did was raid Trump's office because Trump was going to lay back on it all until they got his home. Excuse me. Then they woke the giant. So Trump is aware of our situation. The documentary team is racing ahead. So what happened when the documentary team's racing ahead and we're going forward and like gangbusters here and doing the interviews? The jet you saw flies over and sprays. Listen to the effect. Yes, I'm sick right now. The FBI is threatening to do a raid. And right at the same day the spraying occurs, if I've got my facts right, the top exec from Warner Brothers, 3 decades there for the cover-up, resigns at the same time. And my website gets struck. They do these things.
What is your take on all of that happening at the same time?
Because they are so stupid in their policies, their knee-jerk reactions are what they do to things. They're so scared of the documentary coming out right now that reveals everything. the whole cabal, right down to Mike Lang taking the honeypot wife to bed on my birthday with the emails we have that were struck from our devices, but we have the emails. So what they're afraid of is the story coming out so true, with the facts so strong, such as my high school birthday, my name, the public will get it. They'll see it and go, oh, it's too, they won't say it's too convoluted, it's too much. They'll say, now we get it. That's worldwide. So what they do is they react immediately, do that, and that. It's almost like the scene from Airplane, where the guy is in charge of the towers at that spoof, that comedy Airplane, with the Zuckers and whatever. And what you see is him going, I want the kids in bed by 5, the dog fed. Send me the tower and get down there and send an emergency team out there. Get this out there. That's what they're doing right now. They're going, spray them. You're out of office. Get out of there right now. Strike his website. Stop his documentary team. Get him in the jail. This is what they're doing. Pop, 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 pop. They're so stupid they don't realize it lays out to irrefutable facts that they are doing everything at the same time out of desperation and multiple things at the same time. If they were smart, they'd spread it out. But they're too desperate right now. So watch for certain players in the Alphabet Boys organizations resigning. No reasons, just resigning. No replacements in charge, no ready. Just doing exactly what Mike Lang at Disney did. Harvey Weinstein's boss. Joel Silver, the same time at Warner Brothers. You've got this major shakeups going on because they're trying to distance themselves from being accountable and being called on the carpet. So all the cabal is shaken right now. And it only takes one writer to do it with good teams and good hosts. That's all it takes. If one writer has the courage with other hosts that have the courage, this is what the contacts have told me, then you change the world. If other people get involved and support your program and also help out with my situation, that's why they struck the channel. They struck redpillrising.org because they're afraid donations will come in, that we'll get this documentary just cooking. And it's happening. We are going to do it. They're trying to stop me from having my mom interviewed for the documentary, but she's ready and wants to. The documentary team found a way. So there's no way to stop us. And this is a good try, but I'm still talking. Yeah, my throat's sore. Yeah, I ache. Yeah, I got the red burning eyes. But no, I don't want your little prick. I want to go ahead and build up natural immunities and keep them going, because I'll tell you, it's tested and true. I'm much better than I was the last time they played North by Northwest with their little toys.
Cool.
Do you have when you say your website was struck, do you have a new website, or is it up and running still? So
Well,
I can make the
that's a
link?
great question. Great question. The funny thing is they struck it when we're talking about building the new blue one, the blue one with better and better. So what they did was they actually kind of did us a service, right? They'll get their moment, but it also adds up as evidence too. So they're also showing us how scared they are. And I'm talking about the Alphabet Boys. If you want to change our world for the better, take away the funding for the FBI, the CIA, Secret Service, and make it back to checks and balances in this country. Make this country great again. By realizing this country will be great if it plays nice in the sandbox with its neighbors. That's how this country will be great. Not by existing a fist of fascism, but by playing nice with the other kids. That's how we'll be great. Let's be the good kids on the block. Let's not be the bullies.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely do. I would like to maybe, just again, according to what you know, there's been rumors that China and Russia intend to nuke the east and the west coast of America, which would be one of the next upcoming tragedies that are planned. What is your take on that from where you're at?
Well, that'd be a little, that does line up. It does line up. I mean, what's interesting is the Chinese military is actually in cahoots with the Pentagon. American military and Chinese military is supposed to work together to subdue subversives in this country. So what they're going to do is there's a plan to reduce population by having this country turn into a war zone. Absolutely right. and dragging in some of England too. So that's been in the works for a long time. And the powers in Trudeau's administration are just wetting themselves with excitement over this, because I was handled by parties in Canada when we were there. I was sent right by the honeypot wife to certain parties that were Trudeau's biggest cheerleaders. And they kept saying how they can't wait to see the bombs going off across the border in the US. I said, those are innocent people that would be dying. No, they couldn't wait to see it. That's the feeling. They can't wait for the carnage. That's pure evil. That is pure evil when children and elderly and innocent people are being burned alive. That's just evil. So I'm saying anybody that thinks that's a good thing, yeah, you need to leave. Leave. Just go somewhere else. Find a different planet. You don't belong here among people who are actually naturally compassionate and good people. And the time for this enjoying the suffering of others is over. It's got to stop. I'm trying to convince Hollywood and the powers to be, even the FBI, that compassion is the key to greatness. Compassion also outlasts any tactic they throw. We will never harm ourselves or others because of compassion. We'll never give up fighting the good fight because of compassion. We'll never stop trying to save people because of compassion. And we'll never shut up because of compassion. And our work turns out really good because creativity and compassion makes a nice mix for creating great work, which Hollywood can't do. And also, compassion allows us to make a better world with people that will be accountable. If you look at Gladiator, the Emperor, Marcus, whatever, the Emperor is saying to Russell Crowe's character, it has to be you. Give the power back to the people. It has to be you because you're not tainted. You're not corrupted. You haven't seen what it's become. The U.S., ancient Rome. The U.S. is the model after Rome. You haven't seen what we've become. But those of us with compassion can be counted on not to be corrupted. Absolute power corrupts absolutely if compassion's missing, but it doesn't have a chance to seed if it resides in the hearts of men.
Yeah, that's true. I actually wanted to also, just from where we were talking right now, move into your opinion on what's happening with the USA or the US, and Ukraine. We were talking a little bit off air about that. So again, where are we at according to your script?
The Pentagon doesn't want to be revealed. And what we're at right now is these are puppet states. The central with the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, becomes central. They are very much central right now. So the Pentagon controls Ukraine. We set it up the way we want it. We got rid of the people that were in our way. We used people like Brian Fitzpatrick to make sure it happened as anti-corruption departments going over there to make sure that people like Victor Shokin disappeared, people who would have stabilized that country and kept it benevolent. And we turned it into a thug state. What we are right now is the architect has control of everything. The architect lives at the USA. What they're going to do is they're going to make sure that Ukraine has biolabs, that the people are experimented on, different events are happening, they're treated very badly, and the people in Ukraine need help, the children need help, the elderly need help. It's not really the USSR that's the baddies, it's the USA. And we need to get our hands out of every country and let them be sovereign. How would the USA feel if inspectors came to check out our nuclear program? How would the US feel if special sanctions were against us until we agreed to their terms? How dare any other country tell the USA what to do? We're the bullies on the block. We own the rest of you, according to this country. And the Pentagon, CIA, the FBI are drunk with power. And their whole key was that they are against communism. And the greatest enemy of communism is fascism. Ernest Hemingway, I've had people sending me stuff. Ernest Hemingway died. They thought he was crazy in his later times before he died, because he kept saying the FBI was out to get him. Now the files are released. The FBI was out to get him. They were tapping him. They were very concerned because Ernest Hemingway was saying that the FBI was fascist. Tom Althouse is saying the FBI is fascist, and I'm not going to be suicided out. No, I won't. I love life. I don't like the FBI. I don't like the people that are in charge of it, but I love life, and I like the citizenry that count, and I like the world population that counts. I just don't like the FBI because they're a bunch of bullies that are cruel and ruthless, and that is what is in the screenplay, and that is what brings about our terrible end, and all the horror in our world is brought about by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, with Hoover had sculpted it, which basically comes out of World War II. Terror, espionage, intellectual property theft, drugs, prostitution, child pornography, everything is connected to the FBI. The FBI shields those that do wrong because they benefit by doing that. So a better world's coming when the FBI is defunded. Trump has joined my call. He says dismantle them. That's what I had said. So where we are in the screenplay is a glitching of pages because the other side's panicking. So they're not going on the linear path the screenplay described. They're stuck on this page and that page because they're trying to find a way to wiggle out what's coming. But the net is strong. The net is cast. They are caught and they're losing their bodily functions.
That's, I was going to say, because, we look at this and there has to be solutions because we're really looking at a very disempowered mankind when we're looking at what they're able to sort of just release onto humanity at their beck and call. But, again, we keep saying we're very powerful as a species, I don't believe that they will get that far personally. But I also want to say that in order for that not to happen, humanity needs to do certain things, and we need to, and it's not like we need to, because I think a lot of people already are, but there's a lot of people who are not. So in order for this, what would be the anecdote for that, for this carnage and this slaughter and this human farming that they have planned for us, right?
Protect those of us that know what's going on and have the courage to finish the job. Winston Churchill said it in World War II. Give us the tools, we'll finish the job. Equip us, equip our documentary team with funding. Help us to finish the job. The FBI is in power right now because of an illusion. Something created out of air. The concept of money. That's created out of air. Federal Reserve can print things like that anytime they want. It's air. It's not even substance. And now it's turning digital. It is a myth. Money is a creation of the mind. It's a sad one. But that's all that's keeping the FBI afloat. And when that is taken from them, it could be a glitch in a computer. They're no longer in power. And they have been looking. It's like a dog that's worried, looking out the door. The dog is looking what the answer is. They're scared about something. The FBI is pointing their little wet nose towards writers like myself because we do know what's going on. And what's really going to slam their butts is that they gave this writer a card. Please extend every courtesy to Tom Althouse. I think that's a nice little card I have that's going to be kind of ironic. After all they've done, what they've done, I get to hold that card up in the end and say, look, the FBI thought I was a really good guy at one time. I hadn't changed. I'm not doing anything different than what my sister said before when she said she's totally with me. Keep going, Tom. Even took care of evidence for me at the time. Spoke up for me. But when she got bought by the FBI, she became a totally different creature. I haven't changed. She has. So what's interesting is I can hold that card up. So I think I have some clout. But empower those of us that are still here. I'm still alive because I knew how to play their game. What you do is you hold up what they're most interested in, and you point it out to them. What they're interested in is the intellectual property I still have and the new works. They're very interested in that. They're fans of the work. And they even I have taped phone calls that go into the documentary where the FBI contacts are saying, how do we know you have more stuff? Like, what do you think I've been doing since 93? You need to show us. I'm not going to show you it. I said, if anything happens to my last surviving son, I may have said this before, if anything happens to my last surviving son, I'll destroy the work. You can't do that. It's on the tape. I said, yes, I can. I won't have him in a world. I won't have that material in a world where he's not a part of it. Have a nice day. That's how you talk to the FBI. And you know what? I turned the tables on them. They profile people and figure out what you care about most. I looked at the FBI and figured out what they care about most. And I used it on them. I'm still alive.
And I think that's it's very important for people who are in positions like yours, and I want to say like leadership as well, you know, because obviously what you've created is something very special. You know, for people to realize, and as you say, support stuff like that as well, you know, to make sure it gets out there. The average person right now, you know, when we're looking at the type of again, you know, mind control, the subtle mind control that is inflicted upon us every day. What would you say, according to where you at in the script and in reality, would people need to do right now in order for them not to get caught up or just get sucked down with the tide? Because it feels like it's a tide at the moment,
right,
that just seems to be sucking people in that direction.
One of the things that I think a lot of people are already doing, but I'm going to point it out for audiences, is turn off mainstream media. Do not watch mainstream media, period. It's all it is propaganda, talking points repeated, and women with way too much makeup to try to make you to watch. They're treating you like imbeciles. They're thinking you're going to watch beautiful women, and that's what you're going to watch. That's how they target the male demographic. And so it's like, turn it off. Don't watch their programming, and let it be known you don't watch it. And watch their ratings start to fall. It is simply a propaganda German Nazi tube. You don't want to see it. Find other ways of getting your news. And fill your heart and mind with good news too. And make sure your family comes first. Spend time with them. Enjoy them. Take a trip together while you still can. Enjoy yourselves. Don't pressure yourselves down and have your kids. Even your pets will feel the anxiousness. Try to free yourselves up. Cut the news feeds. What they do is they pride themselves on giving you fires, murder at 11, you know, disasters to keep the ratings up. Let the ratings fall by you not watching, and start to invest in what you can do. The answers will come, and you can see it in the community level, your own community. And just so people know, when I talk about a screenplay and other works that mean something to FBI, keep in mind the biggest power in our world today is intellectual property. That's more powerful than the banks. This is what Hollywood knows. This is what the FBI knows. They all think that intellectual property is the biggest power. That's why I have influence, because I have things they know are proven. And they're still trying to, quote, use up the rest of the story. Thank you for the planes and the symptoms. But the thing is, that really is the future. Knowledge, power, creative works that rise above and help humanity rise also with potential inventions. So I just want to make it clear that I'm sitting on gold mines, and the cabal knows that. When you look at how we're rated as powerful, why'd they say you won the chess game, Tom? You have the power now. They're afraid of your power because of intellectual property. Let us not forget how powerful it is. So create. Those of you who can create. Put it out there, even if it's stick figures, or one-note delivery of a song. Put it out there so you can show you created it first. Intellectual property is our real power. So create. If you can create, encourage your kids to create. Encourage the elderly to create. And do it. Let's create for a better world that's coming, and let's create to protect ourselves now. It's basically we can do the knitting and save the world. Knit the stories, knit the music, knit the spirits, and turn off the mainstream media.
Love that.
Well, I think that we know that, and I think it's very powerful words, and probably good words to close on tonight, because it really is about that, and not just the television. You know, it's these magazines, it's all of that subtle brainwashing all the time, you know, and not just with politicians and stuff, but, you know, even these beauty magazines and stuff all the time. You mentioned the beautiful women in these newsrooms, you know, reading the news and stuff like that, and it's true. But at the end of the day, it's exactly that. It's such a shallow world. It's so important just to be able to enjoy yourself, live your life, connect with your family, take walks in nature, take walks on the beach, enjoy your pets, create your own gardens, create your own communities, grow your own food, grow your own herbs. Really, that is, I can't stress enough times how often we speak about that, because really at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It doesn't help us getting into fear around stuff we have no control over. Let's rather just take control over the stuff that we do have control over. And I mean, I think that's where it begins. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think what we could do too is make your family that are good celebrities in your life. Don't tune in to celebrities in Hollywood. Cut them off, starve them off. Don't go to their events. Don't invest in them. Don't get on their fan pages. Let them dry up. They create garbage work anyway. So turn off. Yeah, let them have their Academy Awards with basically nobody there except their own. When they only are doing to themselves, they'll start to be upset and start to lift others in your own life personally. I'm going to make a sculpture of my dad, my mom, and my sons, and I'm going to immortalize them in that. And I'm going to have that in the new studios we're creating. And I'm going to be lifting people I think are really good people, even that are considered common, that have had an effect in my life. I'll do art regarding them. And I'm creating a new field of celebrities, because I'm done with Keanu Reeves and the Tony Starks and things like this. I'm done with it. Don't give them. They need so much attention. Just don't give them the attention. And watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch
what they thrive on.
Watch what
it's
happens.
What any famous person thrives on. You know, it's one of the reasons they sold themselves to begin with to the Dark Lord.
For them, stop appearing on their fan pages. Stop buying those magazines, like you said. Cut them off. They do bad work anyway. Let's just cut them off and start celebrating those that matter in your own life. And when you come to terms in your lifetime, at the end of your trail, you'll be grateful that you invested in loved ones that were close to you, not ones that are terrible lifestyles. Invest in those that matter most, and will matter most at the end.
Absolutely. Fully agree with that. Absolutely. And we keep doing this. We just keep investing in ourselves, those around us, just keep walking each other home, as Ram Dass says. And we'll just keep having you on the show, Tom.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. Next. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Before we just want to end, I was just going to say I can't wait for the creation part of after this, when we start creating.
Yeah.
When everybody starts creating, not Keanu or Hollywood, but everybody starts creating. I want to see the movies that's going to come out of mankind in the future. I think Matrix, that thing is going to be much more cooler, the movies to come.
That's why we're giving our copyright away. At the end of this, we're giving our copyright away to the people, because that's what it's supposed to do, is encourage others to create.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do it at the end of this. After I win my name credit, I'll give my copyright to the world. Yeah.
Wow. That'll be amazing. Look forward to having that spread around. Wow.
Yeah. There you go.
Incredible.
The way it's supposed to be. Watch how many people do it better than Wachowski's. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh dear.
They'll be
okay, guys.
Not to do it with their scenes. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Wonderful. Tom, thank you so much. We look forward to having you back in 2 weeks' time again. And I want to say thank you to all our viewers for watching us and supporting our channel. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Morné. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And If you haven't already, please give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Find us on Facebook, BitChute, Twitter, Rumble. Rumble, please go and give our Rumble channel a like, because we're moving more and more over to Rumble as time marches on. We keep getting struck and restricted and suspended and what have you. So at best we go to Rumble. That seems to be the best option for everyone right now. Yay. God bless you guys. Take good care of yourselves, and we'll catch you the next time.
Bye.